players don't react to Dallow running straight through the middle. It was terrible defending by Leicester. The pass was an easy one for Fernandes because he could not believe that Dallow was 8 yards from goal with no one around him.
Huge chance for United to double their lead. How costly might that misprove to be from Diogo Dallow? Here's Wout Faes again. Halfway inside the Leicester half, the Belgian international Faes comes forward. He cost £15 million from Roma and has played every minute of each of the last 16 matches coming into today. Has helped shore up what's been a leaky Leicester defence for a lot of the season. Maddison was almost in there. Lindelof slides and clears it away, only as far as Christensen. And here is Barnes on the left corner of the penalty area. Into Maddison. Barnes continued his run. He wasn't tracked. He lifts the ball over the head of Iheanacho at the far post, and it's volleyed clear by Shaw.
I have to say the defending was poor for United. I don't know what Sabitzer was doing there, because he was actually there with Harvey Barnes at the time. Harvey Barnes teases him with the ball, then he runs in behind him, and Dallow had stepped out. Again, Dallow should have stayed in his area. He's got sucked out for some unknown reason. That's left the space there for Harvey Barnes to run in.
It seems unlikely, based on what we've seen so far, that Manchester United will be keeping their 10th clean sheet of the Premier League season. They've lived life on the edge at times in these first 39 minutes. Two big saves from David De Gea before Marcus Rashford, with United's first shot on target, broke the deadlock. That goal still separates the two teams. Forward it goes towards Barnes. Dallow just about manages to nod the ball back to De Gea.
Just seems when the ball in the air, he's got no awareness about it. He could have been caught out there. Really fortunate. The ball's come down. He could have hit. He didn't know where it was.
Here's De Gea inside the Manchester United 18-yard box. 5 minutes the first half to play. Lindelof back to De Gea. And then De Gea with a long punt upfield. And Weghorst grappling with Faes. He does well. Weghorst nods it towards Fernandes. Fernandes looks for Rashford, but Leicester have it back with the fullback Christensen. Ball sticks to Weghorst like a magnet at times. His touch is really good. Barely gives the ball away. Same can't be said of Iheanacho. Just lets it scoop off his shin, but last touch was off Dewsbury Hall, and Manchester United have a throw midway inside the Leicester half over on the far left touchline.
I just look at Iheanacho. There's a real opportunity for him to go and grab a place with the way Sancho's been playing. They're in need of someone it's been
a problem area, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, there's no consistency in the wide areas and the opportunity. This is him starting, and he's not the same player who comes off the bench.
Luke Shaw releasing Fernandes down the right. Rashford's made a dart into the penalty area. Fernandes into Sabitzer, tries to cut it back for Rashford at the near post. It's cleared by Faes. And here's Dallow now, just inside the Leicester half. Iheanacho's got acres of space here. Fred tries to find him. Fred played it into the air. He slammed it against Rashford. And in the end, Leicester have got a free kicker. I think Fred should have released Iheanacho down the left. Rashford down his haunches and been struck in the head by the shot. Faes is down holding his face. And Rashford gingerly back to his feet, the goal scorer.
He didn't hit that with any great conviction, did he, as well, Fred? It seemed like he got caught in two minds when he struck through that ball. And Faes seems to have a problem, doesn't he?
Well, we do have options on the bench in terms of defensive reinforcements. Ricardo back from injury. Daniel Amati has played as a centre-half at times this season as well. Paul, you've just seen a replay.
Well, Sabitzer's gone in high on Faes with his knees. He caught him late.
I wonder if VAR might be looking at that. And he didn't really push through with the challenge, did he? No. Which might come into their thinking. Marcel Sabitzer signed on deadline day after Christian Eriksen was ruled out for 3 months. Unavailable for the Europa League game on Thursday, but back in the Premier League lineup this afternoon. And looks as if VAR are satisfied that there was no real malice in that challenge. Manchester United leading 1-0. The goal courtesy of Marcus Rashford. Now officially enjoying the best scoring season of his career. Danny Ward about to take the free kick for Leicester. 3 minutes the first half to play. Fernandez hooks it forward. Garnacho read the bounce well. Here's Rashford. Poor touch from him. Suter comes sliding in, and Leicester have it back with Tete. Had Rashford found his touch there, he may have had the opportunity to release Garnacho. Here's Maddison at the other end, the Leicester captain. Good challenge by Dalot, and he plays it against Christensen and out for a throw. Marcus Rashford now has as many goals this season as Chelsea in the Premier League.
It's terrible, isn't it?
I mean, his comeback from last season's poor form has been absolutely incredible. There were some Manchester United fans who wanted him sold in the summer. Here's Suter. Now they're desperate for Rashford to sign a new contract. He adds a few extra zeros, I think, to the pay packet on offer with every goal that he scores. Here's Dalot. Down the right for United. Into Fred, who turns it neatly forward to Weghorst. And then Rashford holds off fast. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Into Sabitzer. Middle of the Leicester half. Sabitzer comes out for left and Shaw. Now Garnacho. Neat touch to get away from Castagna, but the Belgian wins it back well. And here's Maddison. Iheanacho looking to time his round. Flag goes up. Free kick United.
It was very, very high as well. Victor Lindelof was, 3-4 yards in his own half from the halfway line. Kept it really, really tight.
It's not often you get a player caught offside 2 yards into the opposition half of the field. United have lost only one of their last 12 games here at Old Trafford against Leicester. They did lose them twice in the same year in 2021. Here's Luke Shaw. Down the left-hand side, Garnacho has made a run ahead of him. Shaw just keeps possession, comes back for Fred. And here's Sabitzer now. Raking ball out to the right, brought down by Fernandez. Forward towards Weghorst, but Fast there first. Fast with a chance to run it clear again. Weghorst comes sliding in. He's really good in the challenge, isn't he, for a forward?
He certainly is. He's willing to work back. He's not asked to work back. I must say, that was a poor ball by Fernandez.
Again.
Again, it was a terrible pass he's given him. He doesn't get there. Fast gets there before him, and he throws his arms up to say what he get. It was a terrible decision to give him the ball in an area. There was nowhere for him to go.
Here's Martinez. We're about to find out how many added minutes there will be at the end of this first half. Manchester United leading Leicester by 1-0. 2 minutes is the decision, and we're into the first of those now. But quite a quiet Old Trafford this afternoon. Here's Luke Shaw. I'm sure it'll be a lot more raucous when Barcelona are in town on Thursday. And of course, the League Cup final in a week's time on the horizon as well against Newcastle. Big week for Manchester United.
It's a great day in Manchester on European nights.
Superb. Here's Fred. 10 yards outside the penalty area.
Oh.
Plays it against Mendy. Leicester might get one last opportunity to get back on level terms here. Maddison on the edge of the box. Gets the shot away. De Gea scrambling to his right, but the ball was always skipping wide. And it will be a goal kick and probably pull the last meaningful action of the half.
I would think so. But again, it gets to Maddison, 25 yards out, takes it in towards the box. And when he strikes it, David De Gea dies, but he keeps his right arm in.
Maddison has not had too many opportunities to get a strike at goal away.
I think we have to say that Brendan Rodgers will walk in, a little bit disappointed that he's gone in at half-time with nothing to show for it.
Well, they've certainly competed this half, Leicester. No question about that. I think actually Eric Ten Hag will want a more composed performance from Manchester United when they come back out after the break. Here's Dalot, chipping it forward towards Rashford. Cleared by Fass. Iheanacho leaning into Lindelof. Lindelof with a header away, and he does well to get himself between Iheanacho and the ball. And then it's steered upfield by Martinez. Rashford anticipating that maybe Fass wouldn't control it. Comes for Fernandez. He's trying to get away from Wout Fass. Fass with a challenge.
No, ref.
And the referee, I think, he's going to book Felt fast.
Really? That was. I thought that
I
was
thought for a moment he was going to put Fernandez
No,
for a dive.
It was a. I thought that was a really, really good challenge. He's had to recover really, really well. He's made the first challenge from Rashford was a good challenge. The second one was a really good challenge. He's got the ball, as far as I'm concerned. I'll be able to see it again.
He certainly won the first tackle.
Yes.
How much of the ball did he get in the second?
Not enough. But he didn't catch Fernandez though. Like the way Fernandez went down, he actually went down booking a hospital bed there, Fernandez.
And I'll tell you what, if David Jason wasn't available all those years ago, Bruno Fernandes could have easily done the scene of Del Boy falling through the bar, couldn't he?
Oh, without a doubt.
Certainly knows how to go down, Fernandes. Free kick for Manchester United, a yard outside the box. They lead 1-0. Are they going to inflict more punishment here on Leicester?
Initially, the referee doesn't give a foul. Then when he calls it a foul, then he wants to give a yellow card. It makes no sense at all. That doesn't work at all, that. Shocking.
We're now into the fourth added minute at the end of the half. Luke Shaw about to play in the free kick. Fernandez over the ball as well. There's a big gap at Danny Ward's near post. Shaw tries to squeeze the ball into that gap over the crossbar. Well, there's the half-time whistle. Marcus Rashford, once again, the talismanic striker for Manchester United, who certainly haven't been at their cohesive best. David De Gea shaking his head, having had to make a couple of really good saves to keep Leicester at bay before Rashford on 25 minutes with the unerring finish beyond Danny Ward into the far corner. That's the goal that separates the two. Half-time at Old Trafford. It is Manchester United 1, Leicester 0. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Global event.
by Martinez, back for Harvey Barnes, and that is a brilliant save from David De Gea, coming to Manchester United's rescue again.
First time he's been called upon and he pulls off a save like that.
Here's Castagna in the area, picks out Iheanacho, and the header is somehow clawed off the line by De Gea. It's another brilliant save from the Manchester United goalkeeper.
Defensively, Garnacho's not doing enough. I question Luke Shaw. Is he communicating? And again, Dalot doesn't know he's there. Doesn't know Iheanacho's there. Luke Shaw has got to take responsibility in that left side. He's got to get closer to Tete. He's got to communicate with Garnacho.
Rashford one-on-one, steers the ball into the bottom corner, and Marcus Rashford scores at Old Trafford once again against the run of play. Rashford, for the 7th home game in succession, has his name on the scoreboard. It was an unerring finish. It is Manchester United 1, Leicester 0.
United go 1-0 up, totally against the run of play. Marcus Rashford hasn't been in the game, but more importantly, he comes into the game to score a goal.
Here's Fernandes on the edge of the area, back to Dalot. Should have been 2-0. It would have been a glorious breakaway goal. And Dalot, who just needed to tap the ball in with his left foot at the back post, went with his right, and it's wide and behind for a goal kick.
He didn't adjust himself. It was a terrible, terrible miss.
Terrible miss indeed. Diogo Dalot with a chance to put Manchester United 2-0 up at half-time. In the end, the lead is just one. That man, Marcus Rashford, with his 23rd goal of what is quickly becoming a golden season. And well, you look at that, 15 of those 23 goals have come in 17 games since the World Cup, Paul Parker. And, well, maybe it's an unfair scoreline as far as Leicester are concerned.
Oh, without a doubt. I think any people in the stadium, anyone who's watching it, listening as they are at this moment in time, just by the way even we're talking, it just doesn't, for them to be in front, it's absolutely incredible the way it's gone. David De Gea has made 2 great saves. The way they've gone forward, they've looked like there's more purpose about the way they've gone forward with the ball than what Manchester United's. But it's about being clinical, and Marcus Rashford was. Dalot 100% should have been as well.
And I guess Erik ten Hag, well, he'll be happy that United are in front. He'll want more in terms of performance in this second half.
Yes, he won't be happy with the performance. I think in certain ways he's like Sir Alex Ferguson. Performances are important to him because performances breeds confidence. And going into such a big game on Thursday, he 100% wants to win, but he wants something to stick there with the players about going into not winning just by sheer luck, winning by being a better team, and that means with a performance.
And for Leicester, I guess Brendan Rodgers will just be saying, keep doing what you're doing, the chances will come.
He's got to. That's really inferior. Doesn't know how long his conversation is. If you shorten it down, that's exactly what it will be, Alex. It's all he can say, really. All he can say, really, is the keeper's made great saves, but there's been times when you think to yourself, could we have done better in a situation to make more of it? And that's only really the negative thing you can say about Leicester.
It's that right-hand side, isn't it, for Leicester, Tete and Castagna up against Garnacho and Shaw that really has caused Manchester United some issues.
Yeah, and if he's got, I mean, I doubt if he'll make a change, but he has to speak to Garnacho and say, at this moment, it might not be your game to go forward and to make opportunities. At the moment, I need you to concentrate on one of the important parts of being a player is the defending side of it when things ain't going right. If it isn't going right for you one way, then you've got to make sure that it's not going for the person you're up against, going well for them going the other way. And he's not doing that at this moment. It's all experience for him. He's meant to be learning. Luke Shaw, though, has got to talk to him.
The options on the bench for Erik ten Hag, the likes of Sancho, Varane, Malacia, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay back from injury as well. We'll expect to see some of those in the second half. Manchester United leading Leicester by a Marcus Rashford goal to nil. When we're finished here, we'll be hot-footing it down to the capital. A big London grudge match between Tottenham and West Ham. Victory for Spurs will take them into the top 4 above Newcastle. West Ham need at least a point to get themselves out of the bottom 3. The stakes are high. No Antonio Conte as he continues to recover from surgery. Christian Stellini, his assistant, will be in the dugout. We can hear from him now, and the West Ham manager, David Moyes.
It's a derby. It's an important match. We came from 2 difficult games, and we want to change this situation. We want to play a great game. We want to win. and we will pick up the best team to try to win.
Well, I don't think there's ever a good time to play Tottenham because they've got a host of good players, really good team. So I couldn't put it down to any really good time. But obviously, this is the time we've got the game and we have to play them. So we'll try and go into the game really positive. We'll try and show the form we're finding a little bit more now at the moment. So if we can do that, then we'll give them a good game.
That was David Moyes and Christian Stellini looking ahead to West Ham's visit to Tottenham. It's London Derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I've mentioned already what it means for the two teams in terms of the table. And these two don't like each other much either, Paul, do they?
You're on about the fans, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about the West Ham side of it, maybe Tottenham to a point. But there is a big hate coming from the West Ham side. And everyone, normally you'd have to say it is about Tottenham. This should be Tottenham's. But the way West Ham have been, they haven't been great, but they've gone to Newcastle and got a point. They got themselves a point against Chelsea as well. They're digging in at the moment, and that's all they've got to do at the moment is dig in and got to really stay in contact. They can't afford to keep going, and drop points. So for them to walk away with at least a draw, for me, is a decent result from given how the results went from yesterday.
Yeah, and you had their goal difference, West Ham. They're the only team in the bottom six in single figures, -8 compared to Bournemouth -23, Southampton 21, Leeds 11, Everton 13, Wolves 15. So that tells us that despite the fact they're not winning many games, they're hard to break down.
They certainly are. You have to kind of work hard in that way to get beyond them. They always, in certain ways, look like they're going to concede, but they don't. They haven't been of late. The biggest problem is scoring goals. Scoring goals is the problem. You're looking really at Jared Bowen, who just might get something. Antonio, he doesn't even know if he doesn't know what's going to happen next. To be honest, Antonio, when you watch him, to be perfectly honest, he runs around, but there's no great conviction or structure in what he's going to do next.
Well, Phil Blackett and Chris Perry will be on commentary duty from North London. Still to come, though, the second half of Manchester United 1, Leicester 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Previously on White and
against Leicester City from Old Trafford. I'm your host, Alex Crook. Alongside me, the former Manchester United defender, Paul Parker. This is Premier League Live, where the two teams are just re-emerging from the tunnel. Jadon Sancho stripped, ready to come on for Manchester United, who lead by a Marcus Rashford goal to nil, despite the fact they've been far from their best. I would imagine it's going to be a straight swap. Sancho on for Garnacho. We mentioned in the first half that a lot of Leicester's play had come down their right-hand side, and at times Garnacho left a little bit exposed by Castagna, breaking from fullback, and indeed that is the change. Paul Parker has rejoined me in the commentary box. No real surprise that Erik ten Hag has opted to go to his bench so early.
I thought he might have left it and just to see the reaction he got from Garnacho, but obviously he's not that happy with what he's seen so far, and he's gone with a more experienced player and hoping that he can maybe do a better job in that side. But if Sancho does get it right and he does push on and he then pulls the fullback back with him, that will stop the forward play.
And equally, no surprise that Brendan Rodgers doesn't feel the need to make changes at this moment in time, because they played well, Leicester.
Yeah, they have played really, really well. You know, they have definitely stepped forward, Leicester, from what they were early season. And just people, you know, and I'm actually now seeing that they've seen a decent Brendan Rodgers performance.
Just confirmation on the PA system of that change for Manchester United. Leicester all in blue, shooting from left to right in the second half. Get us back underway here on Premier League Live. Manchester United in red shirts, white shorts and black socks. I'll run you through the two lineups. For United, David De Gea is the goalkeeper. Dalot, Lindelof, Martinez and Shaw across the back four. Sabitzer and Fred in front of them. Then you've got Sancho, Fernandes and Rashford behind Wout Weghorst, who has started this second half as the number 9 for Leicester. Ward in goal, Castagna, Suter, Fass, who's been booked, and Christensen in defence. Mendy, Dewsbury Hall in midfield, with Tete, Maddison the captain, and Barnes behind Iheanacho up front. Here's Bruno Fernandes just inside the Leicester half, looking to release Dalot down the right-hand side. Dallot's got the beating of Christensen. Good cross into the area. Weghorst have made the dart to the near post. It's scooted beyond him and turned behind by Castagna. Manchester United, as they did in the first half, have won a corner within a minute of the start of the second. Really good play by Dalot. Really good cross as well. And maybe Weghorst should have just anticipated it a little earlier.
Yes, but he's done really well there, Dalot, just to be in that area. He wasn't there in that first half. We saw him definitely once go through the middle rather than go wide. It's just the fact I don't believe that Weghorst really believed he was actually going to get the ball in. He didn't anticipate.
Shaw and Fernandes stood over the corner. Fernandes rolls it short to Shaw. Back to the Manchester United captain, Fernandes. They've run themselves into a bit of a cul-de-sac here. And Papi Mendy has played the ball out off Fernandes, and Leicester have a throw. Fernandes again goes down theatrically.
Oh, sorry, I thought I'm hearing a bit of schoolyard chat there. He kicked me.
And it's a waste of a corner from Manchester United to get the ball into the penalty area. Particularly as we know that Leicester over the course of the season haven't been the best team at defending set pieces. It's been one of their Achilles heels. It's their fans who are making more of the noise at the start of this second half, despite the fact that Manchester United lead 1-0. Shout out to Tushar. 8:30 in India, enjoying our commentary. He's tweeted at TalkSport Live. Yellow card has been shown to Papi Mendy for a foul on Rashford. Paul Parker not agreeing with that call.
He's very reactional, this ref. He just hears a scream and he gets a card out. Papi Mendy overruns it. He challenges for the ball. He goes to the ball and he hears a scream. Why has it got to be a yellow card? He's won the ball. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's twice now.
Well, that's the second booking of the afternoon. Both for Leicester players. Pass in the first half and now Mendy in the second.
I saw a player yesterday at Brighton. Issa Diop get booked for treading on the player's toe. Trod on the player's toe.
Both had deserved to be sent off. The Brighton manager in the tunnel after the full-time whistle had sounded. Shaw, good ball in. Martinez with a header against the crossbar. Should be 2-0.
That's it. He should have scored that, by the way. There was no reason for him not to score that at all. He's come from nowhere. He's ran off of Christensen, ran him inside of him, and he should have been maybe worse missing a target, but he's hit the crossbar with that. He hasn't really didn't have to jump really.
Well, he's only scored one Manchester United goal, Martinez. That was in the defeat at Arsenal. Should have had a second, maybe. Here's Fernandes, edge of the area, into Wout Weghorst. Gets his shot away, blocked by Suter. Manchester United have a corner. It's been a good start to the second half from the home team.
Yeah, he was given a little ball there. Nice little ball off of Fernandes, and he's taken too long in it there. Weghorst. Too many touches. He needed just a one touch out of his feet and then strike it. He's had that extra touch, and he was closed down by a mass of Leicester players.
Manchester United attacking the Stretford end. Shaw with the ball into the area, headed away by Fass. Might come for Sancho. Scored the winner when these two met at the King Power. Cushions the ball back into midfield, and Fred. Sancho out to the right, and Fernandes. Still a queue of red shirts in the centre. Fernandes goes for goal, and he shoots straight into the arms of Danny Ward.
Well, they have started the first half like they started the second half like they started the first half.
Haven't got a goal to show for it yet, though. Here's Sabitzer. Leicester gave it away. Rashford running at Suter. Rashford into the penalty area. Rashford onto his right foot. Saved by Ward. Great play by Marcus Rashford as Fred puts a cross back into the area. Fernandes with a volley blocked by Christensen. Sabitzer tries to nod it down. Maybe he could have gone for goal himself. And it's cleared away by Tete into Maddison. Maddison passes it straight to Martinez. They can't get out here, Leicester. Fred to Sabitzer. And his pocket picked by Tete. They've both gone down. Referee says play on. And here's Maddison trying to scoop it forward for the Foxes. Manchester United come again, though. Fred. Fernandes wants the ball played into him on the edge of the area. Steps over it. Anticipating a runner in behind, but Christensen was there first. Great run by Rashford. Maybe could have done better with a shot.
Yes, the shot, he didn't really catch it at all.
Here's Christensen at the other end. Barnes wants it played back into him. Sancho's not tracked his runner. Ball into the area, headed away Luke Shaw. Good game, this. Here's Sancho for Manchester United. Urged forward by the home fans. Fernandes on the halfway line. Knew he didn't really have anywhere to go, so just plays it back into his own half. And Dalot. 1-0 United lead. Rashford with a goal in the first half. Leicester, who've lost 12 matches already this season. Only Southampton, rock bottom of the table, have suffered more defeats. Fred goes down, but referee doesn't give a free kick. Here's Barnes in the area. Iheanacho wants a pass. Maddison is making a late run. Sabitzer there, and he's fouled him. It's a free kick.
I think he hasn't touched him. Maddison has seen it coming, and he's just gone down. And again, the referee has been fooled by it as well. And he couldn't be any closer. He doesn't actually touch him.
Yeah, it's a case of the player anticipating contact.
Yeah.
And it's a free kick for Leicester, 2 yards outside the box. Dangerous position for Manchester United. Maddison, in the form that he's been on, he's going to take on this shot on his 150th Premier League appearance. It's from a similar position to where James Ward-Prowse found the net against Chelsea for Southampton yesterday. And like Kepa Arrizabalaga at the moment, De Gea has come across towards the left-hand side. That's left a big gap on the right. I wonder if he'll step back into the centre.
I think he's done that more to have a look exactly where the ball is. You can't leave that gap. That gap was far too big as far as I was concerned. No.
Maddison to strike it. Manchester United 1, Leicester 0. Maddison right-footed into the wall. Suter heads it down on the edge of the area. Maddison with a wayward volley, much to the delight of the Manchester United fans. It's just about kept in play by Tete. Tete trying to bamboozle Marcus Rashford. Across comes Luke Shaw, smashes the ball against the Shakhtar Donetsk loanee and out for a throw. Just watching a replay of the chance at the other end. Marcus Rashford taking on Suter and Dewsbury Hall, but his shot was straight against the goalkeeper Ward. Again, it shows the confidence that's flowing through Rashford's veins. Only one thing on his mind as he picks up that ball on the edge of the area. Sancho into Dalot. Dalot driving towards the Leicester area. Releases the ball out to Fernandes. Fernandes into the box. Shifts onto his left foot. Cross towards Fred. Fred heads it down. Weghorst with the overhead kick over the bar. And I wonder if he actually had time to turn there and take it on the volley, Wout Weghorst.
I think he did, to be perfectly honest. And him trying to get that big body down and then to kick the ball, that's a lot of work, by the way, isn't it? Because he's a big man, and you can see him, he wants to go down. And I think he could have done, couldn't he? He could have let that go across and try and spin and turn.
But he still hasn't scored a Premier League goal for Manchester United. In fact, he's only scored 3 goals in 29 games in English football, Wout Weghorst. But he does so much without the ball, so much away from the penalty area. He has been a good addition. Here's Sabitzer, out to the right, and Fernandes. Ultimately, strikers are judged on goals, though. Here's Fernandes again. Manchester United leading 1-0, looking for the second to take this game away from Leicester. Martinez, who's already headed against the crossbar in this second half. Shaw, well forward from left back. Dalot, out to the right, and his fellow countryman Fernandes. And here's Sancho, with room to turn on the edge of the area. Fernandes shifts the ball again on his left foot, curls one towards the far corner, behind for a goal kick before Rashford could get there.
It's always difficult. You have to be nailed on them. When you step inside, the way Fernandes did, he's gone with his left foot, you're putting there. Sometimes they get over hit, and he's over hit that one. They have to be spot on.
10 minutes played in the second half. Scott McTominay is being readied by Erik ten Hag. They missed the last few games injured. Maybe just to bring a bit of energy into midfield. I'd imagine it might be for Sabitzer. He wasn't playing a lot for Bayern Munich before his move to Old Trafford. Cross in from Christensen is cleared away.
He's doing a good job in there, Sabitzer. What he does, he recycles the ball, doesn't he? Keeps it going all the time, the game. It's not something that Scott McTominay is renowned for. If that was going to be the substitution.
Or will it be a straight swap for Fred to save him for the second leg of the Barcelona game, maybe? Luke Shaw trying to bring it down inside his own half of the field. He did well to shrug off the attentions of Tete. Here is Martinez into Fred. Fred releasing Rashford. He's timed his run. He's behind Castagna, and he scored his second. Although now I think the flag maybe has gone up, has it? Well, Rashford has put the ball into the back of the net. The flag has gone up on the far side. I thought he timed his run okay. We're going to get a replay. VAR will be checking. It was another excellent finish from Marcus Rashford. But had he gone just a fraction early, Paul Parker?
I'm thinking he has, to be honest, because they're adamant that he's gone too early, and he has. Well too early. He was trying to tell the assistant referee, wagging his finger at him. I think he needs to retract that.
It's a really good finish again, though, one-on-one. Waited for the goalkeeper to commit.
I think we have to
fired into the corner.
We have to look at the way the goal kick was come out as well. The goal kick was given up on it, I think.
VAR are reviewing this decision. Looks like the camera is focused on Wout Fass in the centre.
No.
Rashford was definitely the wrong side of Castagna.
He's offside.
Old Trafford holds its breath. Paul Parker is pretty convinced this goal will be ruled out. Fred it was with the ball to release him. And Wout Fass appears from the lines that we've seen to be playing him onside. But it's the Leicester fans who I think is celebrating. The goal stands. Marcus Rashford does have his second.
I like this, honestly, the way they do show these lines are absolutely ridiculous, the way it works. I was adamant that was offside, just by the way I was looking at it. And obviously I was looking at it completely wrong.
2-0 to Manchester United. Rashford at the double. Make that 16 goals in 17 games since returning from World Cup duty with England. But for a minute, the Leicester fans at one end were cheering, thinking it would be ruled out. As Scott McTominay comes on for Manchester United. And that should be the goal, Paul, that puts this game beyond doubt.
I would say so now, yeah. Leicester had that little bit to aim for, but now they must be asking themselves, from what they've done in the first half, the chance of getting back is very, very slim.
And it is Fred who makes his way off for McTominay. Erik ten Hag now in the glorious position of being able to rest players for midweek. Leicester can't. Yuri Tillemans is coming on, so too is Boubakary Soumare. So a double change for the Foxes, who trail by 2-0. Yuri Tillemans, who at times in recent months has been linked with a move to Old Trafford. His contract is up at the end of the season. And it's Dewsbury Hall and Papi Mendy who are replaced. So both holding midfielders make way. Marcus Rashford chasing a hat-trick. He won't want to come off and be rested for midweek, will he, Paul?
No, goal scorers don't.
De Gea out to the right. Sabitzer with a little flicked header. Run back by Castagna, but Luke Shaw with a thundering challenge to clear the ball out for a throw. And both players have gone down following that collision. Luke Shaw's become quite a key player for Manchester United and for Eric Ten Hag, be it as a left back, be it as a left-sided central defender.
He can do seeing it. I was shocked when I first saw him playing there at centre half, but it worked out really well against Nottingham Forest in his first game. And from then you look at him, he hasn't been in trouble. In any game he's played there, he looked comfortable, didn't he? Even at the new camp, he looked comfortable.
Yeah, that was up against Robert Lewandowski. Cross into the United area, cleared away by Lindelof. Maddison dispossesses Sancho. Now Soumare back into the centre and Wout Faes. What we should say about both Manchester United goals, Rashford getting in behind the Leicester offside trap. Suter it was playing him on in the first half, and Wout Faes in the second. They weren't quite in line again, that Leicester back four, and that's cost them.
Yeah, it's cost them. That's poor. That's something like that going. Brendan Rodgers will say his piece about that, because he'll see that as very, very poor at that level of football. To give away one goal is bad enough, but you don't get caught again like that wide open so early in the game, because there was no reason for them to even to come out and even think about chasing the game, given the amount of time that was left.
Here's Rashford looking for his treble, plays it forward to Sancho. Fernandes has peeled away to his right, into Fernandes, back to Sancho! 3-0 to Manchester United. That is a super team move. And Jadon Sancho, who got the winner when these two men of the King Power had scored again. It is Manchester United 3, Leicester 0.
It suddenly turned into a rout now, isn't it? That was far, far too easy. I do not know what Tielemans is at the referee for, to be honest. I didn't see anything at all that he could be moaning about. Oh, he's trying to say there was a foul, but it wasn't a foul. I don't know what he's thinking about there. It's only just come on, and within a minute or minute and a half, they've conceded with that double substitution. No.
It was Martinez with a challenge on Iheanacho on halfway. That's what Leicester are complaining about. Brilliant calmness and composure from Sancho. First of all to pick out Fernandes, then to time his run. First time finish outside of the left foot. 3-0 Manchester United. And for the 6th time in 8 games, Leicester have conceded 2 or more goals. Defensively, they have been a shambles in this second half, the Foxes, having missed opportunities at 0-0. United have been ruthless, and they are closing the gap on Manchester City in second place at just 3 points. United. And the perfect preparation, Paul, for those 2 big games on the horizon as Luke Shaw picks it up on the edge of the area. He's away from Suter. Shaw with a shot right-footed straight into the arms of Danny Ward, the goalkeeper.
I'm really glad that he took that on, Luke Shaw, to be honest, rather than try and work hard to get it back onto his left and get caught in possession. Brave of him to go and do that. It didn't trouble at all the goalkeeper. But a great run to actually be in that position.
This has been a really good second half performance from Manchester United.
I would say that the manager said a few words at half time.
Sabitzer out to the left and Rashford, his double, giving them the platform. Jadon Sancho adding the third after a wonderful passing move that started on halfway. Rashford with a little skill, trying to get away from Tete, intercepted by Castagna. Tielemans out to the right and Tete again. Leicester being put to the sword here as Luke Shaw just barges Tete to the floor and concedes a free kick. United riding the crest of a wave at the moment, particularly here at Old Trafford. One defeat in 21 Premier League home games. It's going to be one defeat in 17 since they got back from World Cup duty. And an ominous warning to both Barcelona ahead of Thursday's second leg of the Europa League playoff and Newcastle with that League Cup final to come. United on 49 points from there, 24 games. City on 52, same number played. Arsenal 54 from 23. Are they title contenders, your old club?
They have to be, because with the position they're in, I think we all know depth-wise they're struggling. And you look what they've got, there isn't a lot of strength there. But if you're in that position they're in and their form as well, you have to say they are contenders. There's no other way you can say it.
I think the key gap is Tete tries to get a shot away left-footed, goes wide. The key gap is the 10 points between United in third and Tottenham in fifth. Tottenham, of course, play West Ham later. I think if I'd said to you after they'd lost the first two games of the season, been hammered at Brentford, that come mid-February they'd be 10 points clear in the race for a top four finish, you'd have taken that.
Oh, without a doubt. And the fan would say it more so than that because they'd virtually given up on the situation. I think a lot of them, I think the main thing is for me is they got finished at the end of March and near on guaranteed Champions League football. That's the priority.
Maybe a trophy in the cabinet as well in a week's time. Who knows? Here's Bruno Fernandes in the right wing position. Fernandes cuts it back to Sancho. Dispossessed by Soumare, and it's going to be a corner for Manchester United. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, Paul, you've been quite critical of his performance. He's got 2 assists.
I know. It's all straight away the rug's pulled away from me, isn't it? And that's it. Is the stats? You know, as far as I'm concerned, you watch a game and then you look at the stats, and then you look at you judge the performance.
Jadon Sancho, with his second half showing, played his way into the starting lineup against Barcelona.
I think he'll start with him. He won't go Garnacho. He's just fortunate there's no one there ready to compete with him, I should say, for that position.
He's got 5 goals now this season, Jadon Sancho, 2 of them against Leicester. Luke Shaw, looping ball into the area, looking for Rashford, headed away by Castagna. I mean, would there be an inclination to take off Rashford and wrap him up in cotton wool now? Even though he's chasing the hat-trick?
I think there's a lot of managers who would have done that already, but depends at Ten Hag if he suddenly thinks himself, yeah, if he thinks that way, but the chance for Marcus Rashford to score a hat-trick, at the end of the day, the team comes first and the team needs Marcus Rashford at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So that's why I think a lot of them, if you think that way, you take him off.
Jadon Sancho back to the halfway line and McTominay. United leading Leicester by 3-0, and we've still got a quarter of the match to play. Rashford has now scored 17 goals here at Old Trafford this season, the most by any Manchester United player in a single season since Wayne Rooney back in 2012. Scott McTominay getting valuable minutes in his legs. Having been sidelined in recent weeks. Plays the ball back to Martinez. McTominay in the centre circle for Manchester United. Leicester looking very forlorn. 3-0 down. Their good run is coming to an end. Maddison trying to get it away from Lindelof. Good challenge by Victor Lindelof on halfway. Sancho. Outmuscled by Castagna. An opportunity for Tielemans to wriggle free. That's another good tackle. That's not a foul.
It's not a foul.
Not a foul from Wout Weghorst.
It's not a foul. And is he going to get his card out?
He won the ball.
That's absolutely ridiculous, that is, to be
Another
perfectly honest.
excellent challenge.
I just think a foul actually moves you. It does something. That's not a foul. That is just you touch somebody to get your balance and then to make the challenge, and he hasn't done that.
Well, here's the answer to our question. Marcus Rashford won't get the hat-trick. A standing ovation for Manchester United's 2-goal hero as he is replaced by Anthony Elanga. Rashford's race is run for today. Bigger fish for him to fry in the form of Barcelona on Thursday and Newcastle a week today. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is also coming on for the final 21 minutes, I'd imagine, in a straight swap with Diogo Dalot.
Be interesting then who plays at right back against Barcelona.
He didn't have a great game on Thursday, Wan-Bissaka, in the first leg. In fact, it's Luke Shaw who's been replaced. So presumably
Dalot's
gone to left back. Here's Sancho. He's broken the offside trap again. Gets his shot away, blocked first time, and then smashes it over the bar on the rebound. Should be 4-0.
He should be doing better than that, I would say, Sancho.
Again, very high line from Leicester. It was Wout Vass playing him on. To be fair, Vass got back, made the block with the initial shot, the rebound. He could have just cut it back for Elanga,
yes, exactly,
or Fernandes,
right.
Who would have had a tap in.
He should have done that as well.
But he does look a more confident Jadon Sancho than we saw earlier in the season.
I would say that, but when he's had the opportunity in his last few games, he just hasn't done it. It's not enough consistency in what he does. He's not getting beyond anybody. He's not delivering the ball.
De Gea, long punt upfield for Manchester United, lead 3-0. McTominay brings it down to Fernandes. Fernandes knocks the ball away from Christensen and then runs onto his own pass, and then he's been taken out as he by Soumare. And it's a free kick for Manchester United, and that should be a yellow card, I think, for Soumare. And this result keeps Leicester in the relegation chat. Paul Parker, 4 points above West Ham, who play Tottenham later. Have you seen enough to suggest they'll be okay and stay up?
I would say so, yeah, especially by that first half performance. But see, that can all change very quickly. We've seen the way they started the season, so we know they can go to a level which is quite poor.
All played in and headed wide by Weghorst. 12 yards out. And still that elusive first Premier League goal for Wout Weghorst, and the Manchester United shirt won't come. Brilliant delivery by Fernandes right onto Weghorst's head. He just steers it beyond the far post and wide.
He just adds that something different with and without the ball for Manchester United in that centre forward role.
18 minutes to play. Manchester United looking in the move for more goals. Tielemans turning away from Sabitzer, but deep inside his own half is Soumare. Back to Wout Vass. Now Christensen. And he's got the opportunity to release Barnes down the left-hand side. We're not seeing much of Harvey Barnes in this second half. Team news is in from the London derby. Tottenham against West Ham. Christensen with the ball towards the near post. Steered away by Lindelof. And then Sabitzer finds Fernandes, who knocks it out to Wan-Bissaka on the right. But he ran out of play there, Wan-Bissaka. The assistant had a good view of it and said play on. And here is Wan-Bissaka doing just that. And he's got red shirts in the centre. Wan-Bissaka into Weghorst. Good tackle. Castagna to corner for Manchester United. They are overrunning Leicester.
They certainly are, and that is Wan-Bissaka making something out of nothing. I initially thought the ball had gone out of play, and there's a lovely ball to him on the inside of Vass to Wan-Bissaka. And he does it early, delivers it early to Weghorst, and Weghorst just couldn't get there in the end. Castagna has made a really good challenge, but...
Well, the big news from that Tottenham-West Ham game is that Son Heung-min is dropped by Spurs. Richarlison starts. Ben Davies, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg also into the lineup at the expense of Perisic, Sarr and Son, as we've mentioned. West Ham make a couple of changes of their own as the corner comes in. Martinez with a header over the crossbar. Flynn Downs and Thomas Souček in the starting lineup for the Hammers. Saïd Benrahma is amongst the subs. Lucas Paquetá not in the squad due to injury. He has a shoulder problem, Paul Parker is telling me. Either that or he's just pointing to a chip.
I'm going to give that as your third.
Right, Marcus Rashford didn't get his hat-trick, but I did. Manchester United leading Leicester by 3-0. Commentary to come of Tottenham against West Ham in the company of Chris Perry, the former Spurs centre-back, and Phil Blacker. That gets underway in less than an hour's time. Martinez down this near side to Diogo Dalot. Sancho sweeps the ball into the path of Wan-Bissaka. Out to Fernandes on the right for Manchester United. Here's McTominay now. Fizzes the ball forward, just about controlled by Sancho. Here's Bruno Fernandes again, looking for his 100th career league goal. Bruno Fernandes, Alanga, away from Castagna, crossed into the centre, headed behind. And out for a throw in the end by Tielemans.
There's another one, Alanga, who had an opportunity to make a mark, didn't he, and make a statement. He just lost his way, didn't he?
Well, they had a lot of loan interest for him in the recent January transfer window, Alanga, not just from clubs in the Premier League, the likes of Everton and Bournemouth, Borussia Dortmund as well. Erik ten Hag reluctant to let him go out on loan. I think, again, an illustration of that lack of squad depth that you mentioned earlier. United still competing on four fronts. Here's Lindelof, out to the right, and Wan-Bissaka. Been dominant from the home side in this second half. Fernandes plays it down the line to Lindelof, who continued his run from the back. And then the ball is carried out of play by Christensen for a Manchester United throw on the far side. Two more Leicester changes in the offing. Jamie Vardy is about to come on. And so too Dennis Pratt, who got his first Leicester goal in their recent victory against Aston Villa. And it's Tete and Kelechi Iheanacho who are going off. Jamie Vardy, who hasn't scored in the Premier League since October, does have a good record against Manchester United, though. Found the net against the Red Devils on 6 occasions, including during that record-breaking sequence of scoring in 11 successive Premier League matches. Here's Wan-Bissaka, attacking down the right, cleared as far as Fernandes. The challenge from Christensen. Sancho with a heavy touch on the edge of the box, gives it away to Tielemans, and Maddison straight away looks to get Leicester coming forward, but a combination of Sabitzer and Lindelof win it back, and Lindelof with a sliding tackle to get there ahead of Vardy.
I love that. It was a proper solid block tackle, and both of them got up. 9 times out of 10, there would be someone lying around the floor.
There's confirmation of the full lineup from that Spurs-West Ham game. Fraser Forster continues in goal for Spurs, with injuries in that position to Hugo Lloris. Romero, Dyer and Longley in a back three. Emerson Royal and Davis, the wing-backs. Hubier and Skip in midfield. Kulusevski and Richarlison on either side of Harry Kane up front. West Ham, similar formation. Fabianski in goal. Kehrer, Ogbonna and Agard in the back three. Soufal and Emerson, the wing-backs. Souček and Rice in midfield, with Bowen and Downs either side of Antonio, preferred to Scamacca up front. Commentary at 4:30 UK time. Well, Tielemans has left one on McTominay there. Free kick for Manchester United, 5 yards inside the Leicester half.
Well, he just hasn't got into the game at all, Tielemans, since he's come on.
"13 minutes to play on what is proving to be a difficult afternoon for Leicester after encouraging first half performance. Lindelof out to the right. He's been caught by Maddison. It's a free kick for Manchester United right in the centre of their own half. And I think the referee is just giving Maddison his final warning, just pointing out to a couple of earlier infringements. What's been the difference, Paul, in this second half compared to what we saw in the first, when Leicester were unlucky to be behind?
I just think they overplayed United. There was too many flicks. We saw they're playing the game like they didn't want to work hard to win the game. They come out the second half and they have not stopped working hard with and without the ball. In fact, they played the game in the first half like it was just going to happen, Alex. That's how they've done it. And as we know with football, you have to make things happen. And they weren't doing that in the first half. And they got away with it.
They've certainly done it in the second. Goals since half-time from Marcus Rashford, who scored the opener in the first half. And from Jadon Sancho off the bench, have put the home side in a commanding position with time running out. Sancho dancing away from Maddison. The home fans enjoyed that one. Out to the right, and Wan-Bissaka gives it back again to Wan-Bissaka. Those two linking up neatly. And then Sancho with the opportunity maybe to get across the way. Instead, he continues to pass it between him and Wan-Bissaka on the far side. Yeah, Leicester win it back with Tielemans. So the cry of Olays from the Manchester United fans. Maddison trying to free Vardy, well read by Lindelof. And here's Scott McTominay. Sabitzer out to the left. Elanga. Came in field, but Tielemans comes across and wins it back for Leicester. And here's Castagna on the counter-attack. Plays the ball against Sabitzer, who heads it back towards the penalty area in Sandro Martinez. He's been a steadying influence, Martinez, at the heart of that Manchester United defence.
It does make a difference. And like you talked about very early on, you said when he's in the back line, he gets the ball, he's better with the ball. He moves it quickly and he's positive in everything he does.
He could almost play in midfield if United were really stretched, couldn't he? Here's Sabitzer, foul by Elanga on Castagna. 10 minutes to go, Manchester United lead 3-0. And they're going to make another change here. And this is a significant moment for one of their rising young stars. Colby Maino is coming on for his Premier League debut. The 17-year-old replacing Marcel Sabitzer, wearing number 73 on his back. Do you know much about him?
Not at all.
He was an FA Youth Cup winner last season. Mainu. He will go in alongside Scott McTominay in midfield. David De Gea with the ball forward.
Oh, he's playing David De Gea.
But he hasn't had a save to make in the second half, has he? After a couple of brilliant stops in the first. Clawing away the header from Iheanacho. Having already denied Harvey Barnes one-on-one. They look like big moments now. If Leicester had taken the lead at one of those two opportunities, it could have been a very different afternoon. De Gea again launches it long in towards Wout Weghorst, still ploughing that furrow up front, Weghorst. Here's Jamie Vardy on the shoulder of Lindelof, scoops it forward, looking for Maddison on the edge of the area. Maddison away from Mainu. Maybe can get a shot away here. Good block by Mainu. As Maddison looks to let fly from 25 yards. Elanga has nicked the ball away from Castagna. He's got Tielemans sliding in. It's a throw-in on halfway, and Ten Hag applauding the teenager Mainu for that block on Maddison. Eight minutes to play. Manchester United with two more Marcus Rashford goals and a strike from Jadon Sancho, leading by 3-0 here. Elanga plays the ball back to Martinez, left-hand side as we look, looking for Dalot. Sliding in was Dennis Pratt, and here is Wout Faes, who carries the ball over halfway and plays it out to the left-hand side of Barnes. Barely mentioned him, Harvey Barnes, in the second half.
He was so prominent in the first half. He never got a mention in the second half either. He's off the pitch now with Tete.
And he was a real threat in that opening 45 minutes as well.
Ooh.
Lindelof with a late challenge on Barnes. I'm not sure the referee spotted that.
I don't know. Did he get the ball? He must have got a clean one on the ball. Harvey Barnes has jumped straight up as well, so that makes a difference with this referee.
There's a throw in for Leicester. Level with the penalty area. Over on the far side, Christensen, the left back, takes it short to Barnes. Hooked away by Wan-Bissaka, and then Fernandes plays it out for another Leicester throw. David De Gea. If he can get a clean sheet today, that would be the 179th of his Manchester United career. That would take him above Peter Schmeichel. That would be a new club record. So incentive for him in these final 7.5 minutes. Here's Barnes, though, crossing into the area. Comes for Pratt, gets his shot away, blocked by Dalot. Leicester have their first quarter of the second half.
And that's come about. Scott McTominay has run the ball out of play. He's trying to make out that it's his ball, but Leicester have just carried on. Everyone fell asleep.
Ball to the near post from the corner. Martinez thought about sliding, but I think he would have taken out Pratt. Played back out to Maddison on the right. Maddison with a dangerous ball to the far post, headed up and out by Dallow. Suter tries to keep it in play, his touch is poor, and I think it's behind for a goal kick, is it?
Ooh, that's marginal. It looked like it was over. It couldn't have been all over.
Has he given the corner?
I think he has.
Wasn't a great touch by Suter, just spooned off his shin, really. Maybe the whole ball wasn't quite over the line. So Leicester have a second corner in quick succession as they look to claim a consolation goal, trailing 3-0. Corner will be taken by Maddison on the left-hand side this time. Suter has stayed forward. Away by Veghorst, the near post. Tillemans nods it back into the area. Might come down for Dennis Pratt. And then Barnes has slammed his shot against Pratt. And Tillemans goes back to the centre circle and Christensen. Christensen's pass under the studs of Sumare and out for a Manchester United throw. Fernandez wants to take it quickly because they've got red shirts piling forward here, but Sancho's run it out of touch.
I was going to say that was a poor ball by Christensen, I have to say.
And a poor bit of play from Sancho as well. Maybe one or two tired minds out there now, certainly in blue. Spent a lot of the second half. Leicester out of possession, chasing the ball. Sancho into Fernandez. Veghorst ahead of him. Oh, lovely drop of the shoulder by Fernandez. Buys himself some space, then he passes it straight to Pratt. Did the first bit okay. His final ball was a poor one. Leicester launch it long upfield. Wan-Bissaka there ahead of Maddison. Nods it back to De Gea. Safety first from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who looked as if he would be sold in January, but played his way back in favour.
He's done it right, really. It's easy for him to be sloppy, give up, and just accept he's going to go. But he must have been working very hard to have got himself back in the frame again.
He benefited from Dallow coming back from World Cup duty with Portugal injured. Made the most of that opportunity. And it will be a dilemma, I think, who to start at right back in midweek. Martinez drops the shoulder, tries to turn away from Dennis Pratt. In the end, he just sensibly rolls it back to De Gea. And De Gea out to the right-hand side. Barnes nods it forward for Leicester. Maddison into Tillemans. And Barnes has continued his run. And he would have been one-on-one with De Gea, but the pass was just slightly in front of him. And De Gea picks it up inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see more of Harvey Barnes now, but he's made one of those angle runs with a straight pass. Just a little bit too much power on it in the end. Otherwise, Wan-Bissaka was caught out by it. Not that he was poor defending his side. It was just a good run by Harvey Barnes.
3 minutes plus stoppage time to play. You're listening to Premier League Live. Manchester United 3, Leicester 0. Here's Tillemans inside the centre circle. Barnes running at Wan-Bissaka. Fernandez back there, back heels it against Barnes and wins a throw. Leicester have won each of their last two, haven't won 3 in a row since January of 2021. They won't be winning 3 in a row here. McTominay forward to Sancho. Oh, Elanga's in acres of space to his left. Sancho goes more direct into Veghorst. Is this the moment? No. Saved by the legs of Ward. He still can't score in the Premier League without Veghorst.
Yeah, he just needed a bit of composure there, didn't he? If he'd have looked up, he would have seen the goalkeepers was just rushing out at him. Could have maybe had a touch inside and gone with his left foot.
And he missed a similar opportunity in the Nou Camp on Thursday, 1-on-1. Here's Sancho down by the corner flag. Mainu chipping the ball into the area. Veghorst brings it down. Might come for Mainu. Into McTominay. Fernandez again in space on the corner of the box. Little scoop cross into Veghorst. Heads it against Suter. And it's cleared half away by Christensen. United looking for a fourth late in the game. Fernandez towards the far post. Headed away by Castagna. McTominay urged to shoot. Rolls the ball forward to Dallow instead. Here's Mainu. Into the area. Looking to become the second youngest Premier League scorer in United history. Mainu tries to play it back to Fernandez and it's steered away by Tillemans. They've been really good at times in the second half, the home team.
They have been, and I'm looking at it as well, the way they've gone about this second half. They've totally stifled Leicester. There's nothing left with Leicester. They've really managed this second half really, really well after such a poor first half.
The good form since the World Cup break will continue. Manchester United breathing down the necks of Manchester City in second. Maybe still fancy their chances of catching Arsenal as well, although Ten Hag played that down pre-match. Fernandes into Weghorst. Sancho into the area. Good ball by Weghorst. Can't play by Sancho. Fernandes queuing up in the centre. They were trying to walk it in. Fernandes couldn't find Weghorst and Leicester get it clear.
I have to say that when that ball goes to Fernandes, he is facing the wrong way, and all he's done is he's trying to play someone in who's looking at the goal. We didn't know what was behind him.
Into the last few seconds of the 90. Manchester United 3, Leicester 0. As De Gea plays the ball out to the right of McTominay. Here's Mainu, who's been good on the ball. The 17-year-old Martinez to Elanga. Elanga into the area. Can he pick out a teammate in the centre? He goes for goal, and it's saved by the legs of Ward at the near post. It was a very tight angle as he tries to squeeze it in. Anthony Elanga, a long time since he was on the score sheet. No Premier League goal for more than a year. I think Brendan Rodgers might be a bit alarmed by the way that his team have collapsed in this second half. Ball forward to Vardy. Bounces awkwardly on the edge of the area. Maddison with a shot. Skews it wide. That sums up Leicester in the second half.
It does. I'm looking there thinking, was it a deflection?
He's given a corner.
He's given a corner. Now they have been seriously poor in the second half.
4 minutes to play. The camera pans to Marcus Rashford. 2 more goals to add to his impressive seasonal tally. Jadon Sancho off the bench with a third, giving Manchester United this commanding 3-0 advantage. Leicester have had 6 corners. Same as their hosts, and it's Maddison to play it in from the right. Wasn't a bad ball in over the head of Suter. Samare picks it up on the edge of the area. Being forced backwards here. Leicester. Tielemans out to the left-hand side, and Barnes, who's got Wan-Bissaka for company. And they've gone all the way back to Christensen on halfway.
They haven't shown any urgency at all, in my opinion, Leicester at all. They've been very poor. Didn't come out the second half of anything, looking to do something. And when they've gone 2-0 down, still the substitutions they were too late.
Here's Bruno Fernandes running towards the area. He's trying to find Elanga. Didn't quite come off, and Leicester have it back with Tielemans on the edge of the box.
But look at how he's tried to do that there, Fernandes. Gone with the outside of his foot, trying to be a little bit too clever with it. It just needed on the inside of his left foot.
Here's Vardy at the other end, trying to get away from Martinez. Now Maddison, 10 yards outside the box. Maddison will get a shot away, and it's a comfortable save at the near post for De Gea, and that clean sheet record remains intact for the Spaniard. What a servant he's been. 400 Premier League appearances. He notched that milestone last week. Again, there was some suggesting that maybe his days as United's number one were numbered. He's had an excellent season, De Gea.
He certainly has. I just think seasons back, he kept United. He kept giving them opportunities to be in Europe with some of the saves he's made. But again, we've got these new age now who are talking about because he can't pass the ball from the back. If you've got a goalkeeper who's a better passer of the ball than you as an outfield player, you've got a problem.
Yeah, really good point. Although we saw Alisson yesterday basically getting his opposite number, Nick Pope, sent off with a punt upfield. I mean, he's a bit of a freak in that respect. But just because Alisson and Ederson can do it doesn't mean every other goalkeeper can do it.
Correct, absolutely correct. But people are falling into that trap of believing in it rather than goalkeepers. You do what's written on the can, and that is to stop the ball going in the net.
A lot of empty seats now inside Old Trafford.
It's an awful tough place to get out of on a Sunday.
Well, those home fans will be enamoured once again with what they've seen. Particularly in this second half, a really dominant performance after David De Gea made a couple of excellent saves at 0-0. Really just underlying the point that Paul was making. Here's Mainu. Been impressed with him, the 17-year-old. Since coming on, Sancho has got Fernandes in space. Still time for a fourth for Manchester United. Fernandes into the area. Well, he's tried to lob the goalkeeper and he's lobbed it onto the roof of the net, Fernandes.
Well, you can try that one when you're 3-0 up, can't you, really?
The party trick's coming out. And that will probably be the last attempt of the half, the last attempt of the game. Fernandes looks frustrated with himself, but he's played the part in 2 of the 3 goals. I think really this game was over as a contest as soon as Jadon Sancho had added to Rashford's double. There is the full-time whistle. Manchester United's formidable post-World Cup form continues, courtesy of a double either side of half-time from their talisman, Marcus Rashford. Jadon Sancho off the bench to make it 3. And Manchester United begin this most monumental of weeks with a commanding victory. It finishes Manchester United 3, Leicester 0. And that is a brilliant save from David De Gea, coming to Manchester United's rescue again.
First time he's been called upon and he pulls off a save like that.
Is Castagna in the area, picks out Iheanacho, and the header is somehow clawed off the line by De Gea. Rashford 1-on-1, steers the ball into the bottom corner, and Marcus Rashford scores at Old Trafford once again against the run of play. Rashford, for the 7th home game in succession, has his name on the scoreboard. It was an unerring finish. It is Manchester United 1, Leicester 0.
United go 1-0 up, totally against the run of play. Marcus Rashford hasn't been in the game, but more importantly, he comes into the game to score a goal.
Here's Fernandes on the edge of the area, back to Dalot. Should have been 2-0. It would have been a glorious breakaway goal. And Dalot, who just needed to tap the ball in with his left foot at the back post, went with his right, and it's wide and behind for a goal kick.
He didn't adjust himself. It was a terrible, terrible miss.
Sure. Good ball in. Martinez with a header against the crossbar. Should be 2-0.
He should have been maybe worse missing a target, but he's hit the crossbar with that. Didn't have to jump, really.
Rev releasing Rashford. He's timed his run. He's behind Castagna, and he's scored his second. Fernandes has peeled away to his right. Into Fernandes. Back to Sancho. 3-0 to Manchester United. That is a super team move. And Jadon Sancho, who got the winner when these two met at the King Power, and scored again. It is Manchester United 3, Leicester 0. Yeah, 1 defeat in 17 games now since returning from the World Cup. 13 victories. Manchester United 3 points back on second place. Manchester City only 5 points behind Arsenal, albeit they have played a game more than the league leaders. Leicester, well, their winning run comes to an end. At the moment, they are 4 points clear of the relegation places. That could change when West Ham travel to Tottenham. Commentary from that big London derby on the way next. But a fantastic win for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford at the double, taking his tally to an impressive 24 goals this season. It finished Manchester United 3, Leicester 0. This is Premier League Live.